right, ranking the most legendary reasons to get fired. These are reasons that will either make you a legend amongst coworkers, amongst the industry, the blue-collar world, or nobody will give a shit, or it'll just be plain out embarrassing and you'll never, ever want to think about it again. So here we go. Let's get right into it. First on the list is no call, no show. This is something that people get fired for all the time. It's not really that big of a deal. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny as shit when people don't call in and they don't show up. It's hilarious. Now, it's aggravating if that's going to leave you shorthanded on a labor-intensive job or something like that. It is annoying as hell, and it makes you want to go pay that person a visit sometime after work or whatever. But it is kind of funny. But where we're going to stick that here, just to get this started off, a no call, no show is, we're going to put it in nobody cares, because it's not anything special. If somebody, hey, what happened to Johnny? Well, he didn't show up again and he didn't call in. He got fired. Oh, okay. Moving on, right? It's not anything important. So let's move on immediately to the next one. And we got drinking on the job. This one, it just depends. It can be legendary, right? So drinking on the job is a little bit more common than most people would like to believe. Just regular old drinking on the job, probably not that legendary. I mean, I think it's a story worth telling probably, because it's funny. It's funny as shit. But let's just say you own the job in company equipment, blasting Leonard Skinner or Hank Williams or whatever you like to listen to, and you're hanging out the fucking window of the forklift or whatever the hell, and you're just like drinking. Hell yeah, motherfucker, let's get it. Now that is something worth being legendary. So it just really depends. If you're just regular drinking on the job and you're sneaking, that just, in a way, that's kind of sad. I guess it's not sad, right? I mean, I understand it, but compared to the other example, it is kind of sad. So let's see. I think that drinking on the job, we could probably put drinking on the job. It just really depends, like I said, on how it happens. We can put it in story worth telling, right? Because it's just not an uncommon thing. I don't think it's going to make you a legend unless you do it a certain way. But this is just a really vague drinking on the job. So we're going to leave it at story worth telling, because it could be a story worth telling, or it could be something like, well, he was going out to his truck and he was just drinking a couple of beers. So anyway, let's move on from that one. This one is show up drunk. Now, this one's a little different than drinking on the job. This one means you've already been drinking and you're showing up drunk. I think it's the same pretty much as or it can go in the same category as drinking on the job, because it's the same way. You can show up drunk and you can function fine, except you're drunk and maybe you're getting on some people's nerves and you're aggravating as hell. Or you can show up drunk, hop in a fucking dozer, take out some people's vehicles, take out some equipment, take out the shop. You can do all kind of crazy ass shit when you show up drunk, cuss somebody and just make a whole big ordeal. Go to jail and shit, man. So let's put that one and also story worth telling, man, because I do know some guys in some of my old jobs that used to show up drunk, and it is a story worth telling, man. I tell people all the time. We get on some kind of subject like that, and I'm like, oh, man, old Johnny back at Reners and Roners, he used to show up drunk all the time, and, man, he backed into one of the damn rigs, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have got leaving early. Getting fired for leaving early is really nothing special. People do it all the time. I think leaving early one time. Now this is leaving early without telling anybody, right? And I guess it could be leaving early every day with telling somebody, and it just gets old, and they're like, all right, look, we got to let him go. It's nothing special. Nobody's gonna be talking about it. It'll be one of those one-time things. Hey, what happened to Johnny? Well, he left early again, so they let him go. So we're gonna kind of just speed past leaving early. Maybe they're going home to get some booty. Maybe they're going home because they want to start drinking earlier. I don't know. Either way, it's something like nobody really cares, dude. Nobody really cares. The only way they really care is if they're leaving early to go sleep with the foreman's wife or something. You know what I'm saying? But we'll put that at nobody cares, because nobody really cares about that, dude. The next one is fighting on the job. This one really depends too. It's just like the drinking ones. If it is an annoying ass coworker that everybody has been wanting to whoop up on, and you finally grow the balls and you whoop up on that sumbitch and you get fired from it, I think we can put that in respectable because it's going to be something that's talked about for days and days, right? And no matter where you go, any job you go to, you're going to talk about that. Man, Johnny whooped up on old Jerry because Jerry, he was always running his mouth and he was better and he was always talking about fucking his old lady all the time, and Johnny whooped up on Jerry. It's about time. He deserved it. So we're going to put fighting on the job in respectable because I think everybody loves a good old fight, man. It is kind of weird because fighting on the job could also be an embarrassing, depending on how it goes down. But I think in most cases, right, if it comes to a fight, it has been something that's been building up. And I think it can be respectable because it's probably one of those guys that needs they need to be whooped up on. Got crashing company equipment. Crashing company equipment is a reason. It's a reason to get fired that is going to be embarrassing, to be honest. If I got fired for crashing something and I didn't do it on purpose, and most of the time you're not going to do that on purpose because if they find out you're doing it on purpose, brother, you're fucked. You're more than fired. Did you hear about Johnny? He was operating the forklift at full speed, man, and he just tilted the forks down, stuck them in the ground, and the forklift done a flip. That's just fucking idiot. That dude's stupid, man. They should have been got rid of him. Yeah, crashing company equipment's going to be embarrassing, so we're going to leave that one embarrassing. We're going to move on from that. And next, we got sleeping on the job. This is one of my favorite reasons to get fired. It really is. I mean, who don't love a good nap on the job? Brother, everybody needs some sleep. None of us blue-collar men get enough sleep on the job site. Hell, even white-collar men ain't getting enough sleep. Sleep at their desk or whatever the fuck, in the doctors, in the fucking surgery room. Are surgeons white-collar or are they blue-collar? Either way, if you get fired for sleeping on the job, I really think that nobody is going to care. It's just going to be a one-off thing. What happened to Johnny? Caught him sleeping on the job again. Oh, he's gone. All right, moving on. We're gonna hire Bobby now. I don't think sleeping on the job's a big deal. Next on the list is failing a drug test. Some of y'all ain't gonna agree with this probably. I think failing a drug test is just downright embarrassing. If you fail a drug test, it's embarrassing. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think about what you're doing. If you fail a drug test, it's embarrassing, dude. You don't want to tell people. Ask why ain't you at Reiners and Reners anymore? Well, I failed a drug test. No, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, you're going to make up some crazy shit, man. Well, I was jamming Leonard Skinner in the fucking forklift and drinking beer and they didn't like that shit. Yeah, nobody's going to be like, well, you failed a drug test, man. I just couldn't stay off the meth. To me, it's embarrassing anyway. If I failed a drug test, there's no way I'm telling anybody. Moving on from that one. Next, we got ignoring safety rules. I think that's one of the best reasons to get fired, ignoring safety rules. Everybody hates the safety guy. Everybody wants to ignore the safety rules. Everybody wants to tell the safety guy off, right? When he comes over there and you're doing something in that middle of an open field and he's like, you might better be wearing your hard hat. What the fuck is going to follow me, a bird? I don't think I need to wear a hard hat out in this open field. Man, you better wear your safety glasses. Why? So I'm thinking ignoring safety rules. Honestly, but it really depends because if you're doing something that can get people hurt, it can be annoying. It just depends on what rules you're breaking. Like if let's say you're doing you're in an industry that requires you to be 100 feet in the air. Just example, like a rig derrick, okay? Because I've done oil fields. So let's say you're in a rig derrick and you're hanging up a shiv and you're supposed to have that shiv tied off before you rig it up, however you're supposed to be rigging it up. So that way, if you drop it, it doesn't fall and possibly land on somebody or break something down there that's going to make the job harder, stuff like that. Ignoring those types of safety rules is annoying because you're just making the job worse. You're really putting other people in danger. Let me just say it like that. Anytime you're putting other people in danger by ignoring safety rules, that is annoying. I don't agree with that. But anytime you're ignoring dumbass, stupid-ass safety rules that are clearly just there for insurance and for good looks, I'd say it can be a story worth telling. Why'd Johnny get fired? Well, he never followed the PPE rules. He never followed the PPE. He didn't want to wear his hard hat out in that open field, man. What if a bird shit on his head? It would be horrible. So we're going to put that in the story worth telling. The next one, we got spiking the coffee with alcohol. Break room coffee. If you get fired because you got caught spiking the coffee, I I'm pretty sure that's illegal. So you probably going your ass to jail and shit. But I'm gonna put that in respectable, dude. Because that's something you don't never hear about, right? But apparently it is something that happened. But if I hear about Johnny getting fired for spiking the coffee, that is gonna be so fucking hilarious to me. That is respectable, man. I respect that. You're thinking outside the box. You might get in big trouble if some of the coworkers ain't over 21 and they drink the coffee. But them little bastards shouldn't be, digging in the coffee anyway. Keep the little green hands out of the fucking coffee. That's for the adults. So if you spike the coffee, man, I'm gonna say it's at least respectable, because that's funny as shit, dude. That's not a everyday reason to get fired. I like that. I like that a lot. The next one is showing up late. Showing up late can be kind of funny if you do it a lot and you just don't give a shit. It is funny, especially if it annoys the foreman or the managers and stuff. It's kind of funny. But it also can be annoying if you're dependent on this coworker for something. If you guys do a job together and you're always on time and he's always showing up late, it can be annoying, dude. But I am going to put that in nobody cares, because people get fired for showing up late all the time. And nobody cares, right? It's obvious. Once somebody starts showing up late a lot, they're going to get fired if they're not planning on quitting anyway. So we're going to move on from showing up late. Next on the list, we got excessive phone use. Getting fired for excessive phone use. That's probably a common thing now, especially for like some of the younger folks that are just getting into the work, like just getting into adult life and actually going to work every day and learning that it's a little different than school, and this is grown man business, and you can't be on your fucking phone all the time. All right, if you're on the fucking forklift on your phone when I'm telling you to go up or whatever the fuck, and you looking at your phone, I might come up there and slap that damn phone out your hand. Depends on how big you are. If you ain't real big, yeah, I'll probably do that. So I think excessive phone use, getting fired for excessive phone use, I'm putting that embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing. Why'd you get fired from your job? Well, I stayed on my phone too much. But I didn't think I stayed on my phone that much. Yeah, right, motherfucker. All right, you fucking pussy. Put your phone down. Grown man shit around here. We're going to move on from that one before I get too pissed off. Starting a workplace rebellion. I think that is hilarious. I guess that would be like a union. If you try to unionize, I guess they can fire you over that. But that is funny as shit. We're going to have our first legendary reason, dude. If I hear about Johnny getting fired because he started a fucking workplace rebellion, and I don't, who knows what they done, right? Maybe they didn't do shit for 2 days. Maybe they tried to negotiate raises. Maybe they tried to negotiate drinking on the job is legal or allowed on the company time. I don't know. Either way, it's fucking legendary, bro. If you come to me and tell me you got fired because you started a workplace rebellion and it lasted a couple days or a week before they broke it apart or however they done it, dude, you're a fucking legend, man. I want to hang out with you. Let's move on from that one. Next, we got cussing a customer. Depending on what industry this is in. I guess every industry has a customer. This can apply to any industry you're in. All right, whatever you call a customer. If you got an annoying ass customer and Johnny goes over there and cusses that motherfucker out because he won't leave y'all alone, he's annoying. You better not get that equipment over here on my ditch. Yeah, shit like that. And Johnny has enough of it, and he goes over there and tell him to stick that ditch up his fucking ass and pisses all in his ditch and stuff like that. I think that is, I'm calling it legendary. We're going to put cussing a customer in legendary, because there are those customers that you want to cuss, and you want to see them get cussed. And when they get cussed, you're like, yes, that music starts, the angel music starts playing. You're like, hell yeah, Johnny. Johnny did his thing, bruh. He took a sacrifice for the team, and he cussed that motherfucker out. Now, he got fired. He's gone, but he will forever be a legend in the company, dude. Johnny's story will be passed down for generations, cussing out Karen. Moving on, y'all. We got cussing a manager. This could be anywhere from story worth telling to legendary. It depends on what kind of manager it is, or foreman, management position. It depends on if they're an asshole, if they're just they're just dumb and they're just in their position because they knew somebody, so they're just stupid. Or, they could be a really good manager and Johnny cussed him out because him and Johnny don't get along for some reason. Maybe Johnny's just stupid, right? Maybe Johnny don't know how to do his job and the manager has to kind of stay on him and Johnny's just cussing him out. So this really could be anywhere from story worth telling to legendary. We will put cussing a manager, we'll put it in story worth telling, because it really just, I don't know, man. I don't know, because anybody who gets fired for cussing a manager out, I think that story is going to be told for generations. It really is. It's going to be passed down to the young as they come into the company. Hey, you remember when Johnny cussed out old Larry over there, and Larry was out? You remember that shit? It really is. It really is, dude. So the way I'm going to grade this one is because it can be anywhere from story worth telling to legendary. We're going to put it in the middle of those two at respectable, because it's respectable. All right, having the balls to cuss a manager out is respectable. A lot of people don't have the balls to do that. Whether they're in the right or the wrong, they don't have the balls. They're not going to tell the manager no about anything. They're yes men, and they'll just end up having to quit because they just don't have any balls. They're not going to cuss the manager out. So getting fired for cussing a manager, we're going to put it in respectable, y'all. Last one on the list, we got punching a manager. This could be the same as cussing a manager. No, it has to be above story worth telling. Anytime it's physical contact involved, it's going to be story. I mean, at least respectable. It's above story worth telling for sure. I almost want to put it in legendary, because that is something that I don't think it's real common. I really don't. It's something that you would think would be real common with all these asshole managers, because a lot of people let that power go to their head, so you would think that would be common. They talk to people like they're in a comment section or something all the time, man. I'm going to put punching a manager. I'm putting it in legendary, dude. Because if you get fired for punching a manager, that story will be told for generations, not just at that company, but it is going to spread across the industry, different industries. Fucking AutoZone delivery drivers are going to hear about it. It's going to be a big thing, punching a manager. Man, did you hear about Johnny? Man, he fucking punched Larry. It's about time. Then he went and fucked his old lady. So I think that's legendary, y'all. So if you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing, y'all. I appreciate all the positive comments. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate the rude comments too, man. This has been awesome. I love doing these videos. I have a lot of fun doing these videos, and I got a lot more planned. So if you want to see them, make sure you subscribe. Maybe hit the little bell icon so you're notified when I post a video. Y'all can find me on all the short platforms too at Cold Lunch, man. Y'all have a good day, night, evening, whatever it is where you are.